2, 1.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to the Fumble Live. We are tuning in and recording and going straight into your computers from our homes. So this is kind of an interesting experience. But first, before we begin, I'm Devin Howard on Instagram. That's at Devin Howard.
I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me everywhere at JRay the Fanatic. I'm just going in the same order.
Right. I am Britt Johnson. You can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
And it's your boy Chris. You can follow me everywhere at CK2K.
All right, so obviously it has been a big morning in the NFL world specifically. Tom Brady announced this morning that he is leaving the Patriots. We don't know where he's going. I hope he releases that information at some point during the live so we can tell you all. We are also talking about Drew Brees. We're getting into some news about Amari Cooper, as well as Stephon Diggs. And then also the Panthers and Cam Newton have had a little bit of there seems to be some weirdness going on there. We're going to fill you in on all of that. The Euro 2020 tournament has some information, and I'm hoping that this isn't going to inspire leagues across the world. We wouldn't want them to follow in Euro 2020 tournament's footsteps. And then finally, some news about the NBA. So that is what I'm getting into today. Now, what's coming up for the post-up?
We going. I didn't know if you were gonna do the pause, so I let you have the pause. Joel Embiid had a fun haircut. Excuse me, Joel Dual 180 Embiid had a fun haircut. We're gonna talk about that. Mike Scott trolling his teammate. We got a lot of things. Washing your hands. We got a great tutorial for those who need some help on learning how long to wash your hands.
We can't even do our little score with each other, guys.
Right.
We can
Let's still do it.
Here we go. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yay!
We got Kuzma being Kyle Kuzma, and then also we ended with some Dirk Nowitzki funny stuff.
All right, Jackie.
Yeah, we have
WTF.
some WTF moments. I think my favorite is not knowing how to handle yourself in a community gym. That's we've got some tips for you guys coming up.
People are still going to those things. Like, let's not. Let's take.
But you know, some of those. I have a friend that's been posting every day from the gym, and he's doing it because it's literally one front desk person and him. He's by himself in the entire gym.
Stunt.
Yeah. Okay. So now you can make all these silly videos and whatnot.
Gonna stop me, guys.
Right.
Well, my gym is closed. Well, all gyms in LA
gyms are now closed in LA.
But in your building now? Are they closed in your building?
Apartment gyms, I think, are still open.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one he's going to. So.
See, I don't live in a fancy apartment building with a gym, but my friend does, and she says that they closed her gym in her building, so she hasn't been able to use it.
My gym is currently still open, and then they have a lady come like 3 to 4 times a day to clean it, but it's still open.
Wow, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of cleaning.
Right.
So how do you? Oh, sorry.
You guys excuse if we have any moments of awkwardness because we're all
right. We're trying to get used to this.
Yes.
So I want to know, Fumble panel, what do you guys think about shooting from our homes? Like, this is kind of an interesting way to do it.
I mean, I like it. Like I said, I think it's going to be interesting because now I don't have you guys to vibe off. I can't smack Chris or high five you guys or like.
Well, you can't high five us right now anyway, girl. So
I know, true, very true, very true.
Well, I think it's okay. Obviously, I don't have my lights yet. Tomorrow, maybe I'll have a better setup. But I'm just sitting on my floor. I'm cross-legged. This is comfortable. This is great.
Indian style. I love it.
Yes.
I'm sure all of us girls have like sweatpants on right now. We don't even have like real clothes that we're wearing. No shoes. You can be barefoot. It's great.
There you go.
Yeah, I think you guys saw me getting up and down as I knocked over all my lights and my camera. I'm definitely wearing sweatpants underneath this. But that's professional from the waist up. But hey, I think it's good that we're practicing social distancing, and I think that if any of you have the option to also practice social distancing, any of you watching, you should definitely do that. We got to flatten that curve, people. Don't go out there and party if the bars are still open in your city. Just be a smart, responsible human.
Right.
and chill at home like the rest of us. Frankly, I'm glad to have the time off to just like chill and watch some Netflix tonight, do some at-home workouts.
There you go.
So I think it's going to be fine. All right, so let's get into the news. We need to start off with this NFL catch-up because there's been a lot that happened. The New England Patriots and Tom Brady reportedly had no negotiations before his exit. Tommy Kern of NBC Sports bought the update and noted the Pats' lack of urgency to discuss a deal spoke volumes to Brady. So that might have been a big contributing factor as to why he's leaving. Also, the team's inability to surround him with high-end talent last year was also likely a factor in his decision to leave. So before we get into some of this other NFL news, can I have your takes on this update? What do you think about Tom Brady leaving? What do you think about them having no negotiations before he actually decided to jump ship?
So I think it's so interesting. I'm actually not surprised at all that he was going to leave. I know his boy Julian Edelman is so sad because he was the one coming out in that interview or when they were at the game saying like he's coming back or whatever. He just didn't know when he was coming or where he was coming back to. I'm not surprised that they didn't have any negotiations with him. I am surprised that they left themselves in a position where they're not set up for a next best option. Like, they're a quarterback that they have now, that Jarrett guy, literally got drafted in the 4th round last year. They didn't even really give him any reps at all last year. So they're going into a spot where it's like, okay, we for sure have to pull another guy from somewhere else because we can't go off of what we just have right here. So I think that is really interesting that of all teams, the Patriots now look like they are not in a position to do anything with it. You know, usually they're always over prepared, and so it's weird to see that. As far as like not having talent around him, he's never really had a bunch of guys that are super talented around him. I think he's made it work with less than average receivers, and that was like the whole part of like the Patriots thing. You know, they didn't need to have these high paid guys come in order to be successful, and so I'm kind of confused with that one because he's never had them before. Like, he's turned guys into better receivers, but he's never been in a position where he's had great receivers around him necessarily.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, actually. I know that sounds weird. I just, not so much for Tom Brady. I could really care less about Tom Brady. But I really just want to see what Belichick can do now, because we know he's wanted to prove that he can win without Tom Brady. And I think that he has an amazing ability to make mediocre talent look good.
Absolutely.
So I'm just excited to see what he's going to do next, who he's going to pull in. I was low-key hoping that Teddy Bridgewater would end up over there, but that's no longer the case. Shut up. I love Teddy Bridgewater.
Me too. I didn't want him over there.
Too much to have him end up with the Patriots.
Right. But see, the thing is like, it's not so, I don't like New England, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for Belichick and what he's able to accomplish with athletes. And I just would like to see how he would grow the talent in Teddy Bridgewater. So that was just a personal thing for Teddy, more so than the organization. But I'm excited to see what Belichick, he has to stay though now, for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, to me, I was surprised, 100% surprised that there was no negotiations. I thought they would have at least had some sort of conversations. That part is what blew my mind a little bit. I was thinking that he was going back. I thought that all this was being overblown and it was, trying to get everybody hyped up. So finding out this morning that, he's out, I was like, oh, snap. But then, like I said, the negotiation part was the biggest thing. I know you're saying Teddy. I'm here thinking somebody that nobody's talking about. And like we said, bring mediocrity to like greatness is what Bill Belichick does really well. I feel like a quarterback in the same light that you said with Teddy Bridgewater, I feel like a guy would be, I think Andy Dalton, man. I think Andy Dalton, Belichick, he would be able to revive his career.
Really? Carrot Top? Really?
In the beginning years that he was there, Andy Dalton was playing pretty solid with the Bengals team that was giving him absolutely nothing besides AJ Green. So I feel like if you give that same kind of quarterback, and he's still young, give that to Bill Belichick, I think he might do some stuff for Andy Dalton, man.
So there's a chat in here that I wanted to read out that I thought was funny. Gary Turbo says he places 3 rolls of toilet paper on Brady joining the Colts. It's a pretty toilet paper's in high demand right now, so it's a pretty big bet.
That's actually been a lot of people in the comments are saying that they think Tom Brady will go to the Colts. from what I've been looking at in the comments.
But I've literally heard.
So why are they going to get 2 old people?
Yeah, and I've literally only heard it's going to come down to 2 teams: Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Chargers. The Chargers makes the most sense. Colts make 0 sense to me, but we'll see.
I want the Bucks selfishly though, just so we can have break times a year, and the Bucks still suck, so they can be smacking them up.
I see. Okay.
That's just selfish.
Interesting.
All right, well, let's get into... Oh, sorry, no, take it away.
Oh, no, I didn't have anything to say. I was... Continue. It was just never just like, oh, I can't believe this kind of moment.
Yeah. I know, we've been speculating, everyone's been speculating for months that Tom Brady was going to leave. I know that a lot of Fumble fans in the comments would get real mad when I would say that because they want him to stay with the Patriots. They didn't think he was going to be leaving, but here we are. Kind of called it from a few months ago. So that's pretty crazy. But someone who's not leaving is Drew Brees. He's sticking around for 2 more deals. 2 more years. He signed a 2-year, $50 million deal. So it's slightly below the going rate for a starting quarterback, which I was surprised by. What do you guys think about that? Like, why do you think he accepted less?
Because he's old.
No. Because at the same time, they would have paid him. I think it's because he knows the state of the Saints right now, because we are in financial crunch. We're gonna have to pay guys like Marshawn Lattimore, and I can go down the list because we have a lot of young guys that have overachieved in what they've done in the short few years that we've had them. So I feel like that was him giving the team that discount so we can bring in those guys. So in his last 2 years, he can have a legit run at getting a championship for reals this time, and not just him being back just to be back.
Well, so maybe you guys use some of that money and pay a referee. Maybe that would help you guys out, because that's the reason why the last 3 years you guys have not been able to make it to a Super Bowl. So you guys have had all the talent there the last several years. If you guys could, maybe slide some to a ref, maybe you guys could get.
We might have to do that. My concern is, though, now that since Teddy is leaving and Drew is old, we still need a solid backup. We still need somebody who can do exactly what Teddy did and hold it down until Drew comes back. And so that's got to be an investment at some point.
Taysom Hill, come back. No, but that's the thing too. And I love the Taysom Hill hype. I love everything he does for the Saints. But the thing is, especially now that Drew Brees is coming in for 2 more years, that's also 2 more years on Taysom Hill, and he's already older as it is. So like, he'll be 32 at the time, so we let our
Ricardo $20.
Ricardo.
Hey, Britt, I hope you are well and taking care of yourself. Things are getting too crazy out there with people getting out of control. Be safe. One day I can meet you. Thank you, Ricardo. We appreciate you.
Wow, $20. That's $20.
That's a record, a Fumble record.
Yeah. Okay. So, Chris, since you are a Saints fan, what was your initial reaction to hearing this news? I mean, I guess we weren't really surprised that Drew Brees sorry, everyone cut out. But, Chris, your take. Go ahead.
Like I said, I was happy he did take some money back. I was expecting him to, like I said, because we got a lot of contracts too. Not this year, but next year, because we got a lot of people to bring back. So I was happy with it. I'm all in for it. But like Britt said, hopefully we can catch a break in the off season. If we continue the streak that we've had with the last few years of winning seasons, hopefully we can improve in off season. But the thing is, even though that last play for last season was bad, I don't blame last season with the refs. The Saints went in there pretty bad, so I don't.
Look at you. That's a step for you, Chris. I'm
back home. I was pissed about it, but at the same time,
I blame the ref because I get it.
But the Saints
could have played better, but nah. I'm not letting the refs off for that one. No free pass.
Moving forward, you guys. Moving forward, I think that's usually quarterbacks always do that, especially if they get extended contracts. Usually, we see the quarterbacks signing these 5-year deals for a crazy amount of money, and then a lot of people don't realize, or during that time, they end up restructuring their deal in order to let other guys come in and make more money. So because Drew Brees only signed a 2-year deal, I think it's natural that he would just take $25 million a year instead of having those bigger, what we're seeing with like Russell Wilson with the $35 million or $33 for like Jared Goff and stuff. I think it's because it's just a 2-year deal, I think that was the right choice to make with just signing him $25 million a year.
Yep, but I'm excited.
I mean, I would love to get $25 million a year. So, what, Chris?
They get $25 million a year and then call that a discount.
Right.
I know, right?
Well, and then that's the thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady has never gotten paid what he should have gotten paid because he's always let that money be spread around the team. Because let's not forget, the NFL is a hard cap, so whatever money is going to one person is being taken out of somebody else's pocket. And if you want to win championships, that's what you have to do. So clearly Drew is in the mindset he wants to win a championship within these next 2 years, which could be his final 2 years in the league.
Most likely.
Right.
Oh, so you guys think that after this it's done with Drew?
Well, I mean, right now he was deciding between coming back and retirement. Just with this signing right now, I would definitely. This is his final run.
And I mean, people, I get it that Tom Brady. I don't think Tom Brady's going to have an ounce of success wherever he goes, but we'll have to wait and see. But the fact of the matter is, you can't play football forever. And I think Drew is at the point in his career where these injuries are setting him out for extended periods of time. These injuries are hurting a little bit more. And so physically, he just can't play forever. So I think 2 years is cool. It's going to put him out right around the time he said he wanted to go out. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yes.
Well, let's jump into our girl Britt's favorite team, the Cowboys.
Do we have to?
Yeah, we have to.
Jackie, you can turn your computer off right now if you'd like.
Okay, wait, let me get that.
Jenkins left the chat.
Instead of my screen.
Okay, so Adam Schefter reported that Amari Cooper intends to re-sign with the Cowboys on a 5-year, $100 million deal. He has said, before his deal, he said, "I love being a Dallas Cowboy. I think about it almost every day. Just the aura of being a Dallas Cowboy. You can't beat it. I want to be a Dallas Cowboy for life." So, how do you feel about that, Britt?
I think this was perfect. Obviously, he is a super young guy. He was just going off of his first main contract, the one before, which was only for $22 million for 4 years. So he was literally making pennies compared to what some of these other guys are making. So I think it's perfect. I think it's a great contract. We needed to secure him, and we needed to secure Dak Prescott, and we did just that. I didn't have intentions of us keeping Byron Jones. I feel like in this upcoming draft, there are tons of corners that are coming out that are really, really good. 2 from Ohio State. I hope we get one of those guys. But we have a 17th pick, and then we have one in the mid-second round. So this was, I think the Cowboys, I know people are a little confused because the Dak Prescott thing, but I think the Cowboys played it well. They did what they had to do in these moments, and making sure that they secured Amari Cooper was one of those things. It's also $60 million of that $100 million is guaranteed money. So this is great. I love it. I'm excited. Obviously, we now have officially paid everybody that needs to be paid on the Cowboys roster. So we're sitting pretty. And then going into the NFL draft, I think will be great as well. So we'll get a couple defensive guys. I think we need another rusher, and then we need at least one more corner. But I think there's a lot of those to pick from in this draft that are really, really good and can literally come out week 1 and play. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyone else have any other takes on the Cowboys re-signing Amari Cooper?
Well, that's the thing. I had asked Brady about it yesterday when we were doing our little test there, because I was confused on the Byron Jones thing, but she is right. With the draft coming up, there's a lot of cornerbacks there that I actually really saw, and Ohio State just spitting out talented cornerbacks. So I feel like that they'll definitely be able to fill in his role. So yeah, you got to secure the offense, because you can't just run with Zeke forever. So Dak showed some upside last season, and he started to find Amari Cooper a lot more. So yeah, I feel like they made the right decisions. As even though some people might think differently because of Byron Jones, I think that they chose the right 2 guys.
Yeah, I think Byron Jones was overpaid personally.
Me too.
So I think that it's a good look. I think Amari is definitely the better talent. That whole "I want to be anything for life" always kind of throws me off, because we know Dak said that too. And then I think he started kind of looking at the market and looking that, maybe I don't need to be a Cowboy for life if the money will take me elsewhere. But I think it's a good look for right now, and hopefully this chemistry continues to work for them, and Dak doesn't hop off of this "I want to be a Cowboy for life" train, because I actually think that's where that's going to go. But we shall see.
I think they did with Dak. We're not talking about Dak in later parts of the show, are we?
No, I know, right? We have to. I'm looking at this now.
So we're talking about all the Dak stuff right now, and that's it. So with the Dak Prescott, I know a lot of people were even in the comments before we even started the show today. People are like, "Oh, I know Britt's going to be upset about them franchising Dak with the exclusive franchise tag." I actually completely understand it. I think they had no other option to do that because Dak didn't want to sign last week. They tried to offer him a deal. He didn't want to sign. And this was their only option because when they put the exclusive franchise tag on him, he actually now cannot talk to another team. So everything that he has to do going into this season, and he's getting paid whatever, the $33 million this year anyway. So he gets that as being now a franchised quarterback. So he gets the $33 million for this year, which is great. And then during this year, they can use that time to finalize getting whatever deal that Dak wants for the futures without having any, he can't talk to any other teams. He can't deal with anybody else and focus just on the Cowboys and getting that deal done. So I think they did that just because they really do want this deal with Dak, and I think they're willing to do what it takes. But obviously in securing Amari Cooper, now they can focus all their attention on Dak Prescott because we have nobody else that we need to pay on that team.
I thought the Cowboys showed that they were committed to Dak by offering him this deal. I thought the deal was actually a good deal, but then Dak was the one who was like, "Oh, I want to be a Cowboy for life." They give him basically what he wanted, and it's because of the market. It has nothing to do about him wanting to be a Cowboy for life. It's about the market, and he's seeing what Jared Goff is getting, and he's understanding, I'm better than Jared Goff. So it's just about him understanding what's going on in the market, and I think sometimes understanding what's going on in the market will trump your desire to be with whatever team you say you want to be on. But like I said, we'll see.
He's young too, so he's not looking at it like a guy like Drew Brees did or Tom Brady did, where it's like, the more they pay me, the less they're paying guys around me. So maybe I won't get that offensive line in a couple of years that I need that's been protecting the crap out of me. Or I won't get, a star player that I can throw the ball to, which is why Tom Brady had issues this past season. You have to be able to pay other people on the team too. And I think the Cowboys were doing the best they could. Yeah, I think the guaranteed could have been a couple mil more. But, if you want to match Jared Goff's, because Jared Goff was for $108 million and Dak's was for 105. So if you want to be petty and get the extra $3 million, which technically, every quarterback pretty much ends up doing, they're going to restructure your contract in future years anyway, because you're going to come to a point where it's like, I'm getting paid all this money and now I don't have anybody on my team that can help me win. So you have to balance between, do you want to win something? This last season, Cowboys ended the season as the number one total offense in the league, number one in pass rushing, and you guys still didn't make it to the playoffs. So something needs to change here and get fixed.
Absolutely.
Okay, we got to get into, I just quickly want to fill you in on one more thing. Stephon Diggs is going to the Buffalo Bills. So that's a new beginning for him. He tweeted that it's a new beginning. Let's get into the Panthers really quickly. So the Panthers apparently gave Cam Newton permission to seek a trade. They about it on Instagram, but then Cam actually commented on the post in his traditional strange font that he likes to use. Do not understand it.
It's
and I know, it's like a middle school away message on AIM. Things like, what the heck is going on? But so he actually commented and said, "Stop with the wordplay. I never asked for it. There is no dodging this one. I love the Panthers to death and will always love you guys. Please do not try and play me or manipulate the narrative and act like I wanted this. You forced me into this." So we still have a lot to get into, but I want to get some brief input from you guys about what you think is actually going on here.
I don't think anybody thought that it was anything but forced. And I think that that's kind of the overall, you want to seem like the good guy. You want to be like, oh, it's mutual. But it's just like if you get fired from a regular job, you be like, tell your friends that it was mutual. And good and damn well, you walked in here with my last check and told me to get out. Right. So I think we all knew, because Cam, unfortunately, he's been plagued with injuries. He's just not what they wanted. He's not Superman Cam anymore. Those days are unfortunately are behind us, and now you got this new coach in there, and it's time for a new regime. And I get why Cam is probably mad. He probably feels like, as most athletes do. He's like, oh, I'm better now. I'm healed now. I'm in the best shape of my life. But the reality of it is you haven't produced. And so I think, unfortunately, as much as I love Cam, it is time for a change in the regime. And I don't know if I can just be super happy because the person I just talked about is officially trying to sign with them, Teddy Bridgewater. So the only reason I'm super excited because I love me some Teddy Bridgewater. The only reason that I'm not over the moon about it is because I don't know if I have that much faith in their head coach yet. But I do think it's a well-deserved.
That's the only reason?
Yeah, so you keep throwing this hate at.
No, it's not hate. I hate. No, I love Teddy Bridgewater. I hate the fact that I can't love him anymore because he went to the stupid Panthers. You're not even going to
the same division as y'all's division.
Give him the blueprint.
I mean, but look, but when you're a backup quarterback, there's no trading. There's no like, oh, you're backstabbing. Oh, he can't KD the situation. He can't KD the situation. He's a backup.
No.
He gets a chance to start.
I'm calling him a backstabber. I just don't like it because I do like Teddy Bridgewater, and now I can't like Teddy Bridgewater because he's going on that team, so I never want to see him win.
You think they'll be successful with this new coach, though? That's my thing. I don't think he's going to have the chance to shine the way he would anywhere else. And so, of course, him being in the division is one thing, but him also, in my opinion, not having the opportunity to shine is what bothers me because I like Teddy.
My pettiness aside, the thing is the pairing with him and Christian McCaffrey makes too much sense because Teddy's not a big pass making guy. He's very control and he makes shorter passes. So I feel like with having a running back like Christian McCaffrey who does everything in the backfield and he can do stuff in the slant and stuff like that, I feel like it's going to work out really well for them. So I hate that. But because of that, I feel like that's going to disguise a lot of the problems with the coach if the coach, it doesn't really make sense for the team. So but coach be damned, I feel like Teddy and Christian McCaffrey alone is a great pairing. So I hate that. But no hate.
Real salty over here.
So like
sodium levels is high.
You're saying go get your money anywhere else. Like, I was like the Buccaneers and the damn Panthers are going to be the ones trying to get him, and now he ended up going to the Panthers. But yeah, as far as Cam Newton, like you guys said, no, I don't think anybody saw this as them legit mutually deciding to look for. We knew when they were so invested on Kyle Allen last season when he wasn't even that great, but they were like talking to him up like he was like the next best thing for the team. We knew that they were already just looking for some sort of replacement for Cam Newton, and this was what was going to happen.
I don't like this thing that we're seeing though, because the Giants did the same thing with Odell and said we are so committed to him going forward, and then they shipped him to Cleveland. And then they said the same thing about
Jones
Cam.
Did that with Terrell Owens too. Right. Like he literally spoke with him and said, "You are going to be a Dallas Cowboy," and cut him the very next day.
And why do that?
Yeah, but as far as with the players and Cam even coming out, I don't even think. Like our whole theme that we always say less, Cam, because we already knew, baby. Like, we didn't have to tell nobody up here. We all knew what the deal was and that they were trying to get you out. We knew that stuff wasn't mutual. Like, he didn't even have to say anything, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. I want to make sure we have enough time to get through everybody's segments. So I want to fill you all in on how the Euro 2020 tournament will be postponed until 2021. So UEFA held a video conference call with all 55 of its affiliated national football federations, along with the reps of the clubs, leagues, and the players, and they decided to reschedule the European Championship, but domestic leagues are still free to complete their local league schedules if they wish. So it was supposed to happen from June 12th to July 12th this year across 12 venues in Europe, but now the Norwegian Football Association said the tournament will take place from June 11th to July 11th in 2021. And I feel like as sports fans, we're going to have to brace for a lot of news like this. It kind of leads me into our final need to know news update about the NBA. So I'm just going to combine these two together. Woj reported that the NBA and Board of Governors are having a call today to determine how they're going to move forward. We all know that they're on hiatus right now, and their return date is still up in the air. They'll be discussing what they're going to do, when they're going to come back. The league will likely push through with their initial plan of holding closed-door matches prior to announcing the suspension. We talked about that before. They also might hold games in smaller venues. But now that we've heard that the Euro 2020 tournament will be pushed back until next year, what do you guys think about the NBA potentially following suit? Do you think that could happen with the playoffs and the finals, or do you think it's still going to happen? Like, they'll still go on this year?
I mean, when the suspension initially happened, that was the first thing that I thought. I thought that they would push it back until next year. And so, but as a fan, you don't want to hear that. So I was super hopeful when they're like, okay, we're just going to push it back a few months. But I think it's entirely possible. I think that if we see more and more cities go on lockdown like San Francisco did, I think at some point people are just going to hit the panic button and be like, you know what? Let's just wait for this whole thing to blow over before we revisit this. And I get not really understanding where you are in 30 days. You might not know, so I think it's fully possible. I really hope not, but I think it's possible.
Yeah. What are your takes, Britt and Chris?
I just think I was just going to say, I think the stakes are a little bit higher with the UEFA because of where it is. So I mean, I understood that.
UEFA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just feel like because they'll all be gathering over there in Europe. So I mean, to me, it makes sense for them to push it back because now it's being ruled that Europe is the epicenter of this whole coronavirus in the first place. So I mean, it makes sense that it would get pushed like that. But as far as the NBA, like Jackie said, I don't know if I was thinking next year, but I was thinking like it was going to be later on in the year because it's not something that's going to be done overnight. But then we start hearing reports that maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, and right now that's where we're standing. So I feel like the conversations that we're going to be hearing or that they're going to be having today is going to be more so on like if the season does come back, are we going to have any games in the season before the playoffs, or if we're just jumping right into the playoffs and then they can push it to the July or late June or whenever they want to do it.
I think that's probably going to be the only solution is to just cut the season where it is now. Yeah. It's unfortunate for those teams that were, close to 7th, 8th seed and not getting that opportunity because it really was still anybody's game. And at this point, if they have to even cut it another month or so, I just think they go straight into playoffs.
Yeah, I think so.
Just for the timing of it,
playoffs. Let's not forget the NBA playoffs used to be a 5-game series. It wasn't even a 7-game series until the end, so maybe they changed the series number to 5-game series instead of 7 to just compartmentalize everything and make it a little bit shorter so then we're not that off when it goes into next season because we also don't want to get to a point where everything is pushed back forever now for the NBA seasons, which I think is what soccer or football is trying to do. They don't want to have stuff get pushed back so far that it permanently changes how their season schedule is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about how this coronavirus outbreak is going to be impacting sports, our personal lives, businesses. I think it also would be a shame if we jumped right into playoffs because of how tight the Western Conference is right now. But we'll just have to see what happens. It's just pretty nuts, pretty crazy what's going on. But that wraps up the Need to Know news segment. Chris, throwing it to you.
Oh, is it time? Time for the post-up. With your boy Chris. It's a quick one today. It won't be taking too long so you guys can get to your segments. But we're going to be starting off with Joel Embiid. Yesterday was his birthday, so happy birthday, Mr. Doing 180. Happy birthday, bro.
Mr. Doing 180.
Mr. Doing 180. So he celebrated his birthday by posting this picture. I hope Leo can get the picture up, but he posted this picture. Looks like a very familiar cartoon character that we all remember if you grew up on Rugrats. Looking like Cynthia.
What's her name? Cynthia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looking like Cynthia.
Yes.
There it is. Yep. Look at it. Yeah. I'm sure. I'm really trying to figure out what he's. I mean, is he getting his hair braided? I don't understand what's actually happening with his hair. But why is it?
Is that it? Why? I don't know.
I think
because they got to spray it to stay.
You know what he's doing? He's probably just getting his roots like oiled up or whatever,
right?
When so they're just like they part the hair and they're just greasing his roots or whatever, his scalp, greasing his scalp.
Okay, no, let's hope that's what it is.
I want him to show a game with this hairstyle.
No, I'm saying maybe the move, but maybe that's the move because it looks like a helicopter thing. So maybe he's trying to practice the 180, like that he's getting his 180 going on, so he can fly. I don't know, but shout out to Joel Embiid. Happy birthday, bro. Moving on to the 76ers. We love talking about the 76ers in the post-up. I don't know what it is. They just love doing stuff for social media. But Mike Scott caught, well, before we even get to Mike Scott, Matisse Thybulle, the rookie, who is so far the post-up MVP because he likes to be in this damn segment. He posted a video on TikTok, and he's making his debut to TikTok because obviously there's not much to do in the quarantine. So here's his TikTok debut.
So now the NBA season's been put on hold, and we've been advised to self-quarantine ourselves. The only logical thing for me to do at this point is to start making TikToks.
Yep.
So the interesting thing though is we probably were on silent for a couple seconds because the YouTube is a couple seconds off.
It's behind. Yeah. So whatever.
Sorry,
so you guys know what it was. But yeah, so you saw the video, creativity, blah 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 blah. But Mike Scott, his veteran teammate, you know that with that locker room, they've been giving him a lot of crap. So this was another opportunity because Mike Scott posted this tweet asking, "What is this effery? What is this going on? What is absolutely going on?" I think that's the perfect response because Mike Scott's an old school dude. So like
I feel like TikTok was part of the PR group that did the coronavirus because now people are getting on TikTok because they don't have crap else to do.
That's so true.
You know, I've even thought about like maybe now's the time to start TikToking, even though I didn't really want to start it on my own.
Do TikTok?
The group. I want to fumble TikTok, but me on my own, I don't think I'm gonna. When am I gonna sit around like learning this like
dance moves? Yes,
you could do it with your veggie food, like chickpeas, chickpeas in there. Maybe I
don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'll do it, guys.
Speaking of Devin, yesterday Devin shared her tip to what song we should be humming in our heads when we're in our seconds.
Sing it, Devin. Can we hear you sing it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh man. Oh gosh. Now I'm like blanking on how it even goes. It's not a good idea.
No, I'm not gonna make you do that. I will not make you do that for 20 seconds. But Devin, she washed her hands to Lizzo for 20 seconds. She hums it in her head, and I'm like, yo, that's creative because everybody else is like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and stuff like that. That's creative. Well, according to Brit's favorite app, TikTok, there is another way for basketball fans to count down the 20 seconds to wash their hands, and it is with the famous LeBron James block play. So Jackie, you can use this yourself.
Jackie's already doing this.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm good. So here's the TikTok.
But about Kyrie Irving or LeBron James, the offense is running through me right now. Irving drives, hop step inside, floats it up, misses. Rebound taken by Iguodala.
In New York, if you would have mind, if you would have. I was trying to figure it out. I just thought it was the hat.
Is he one of us?
I think
that's going to be the identifier. He's one of us.
But yeah, it's the. So Jackie, are you putting that on in your head? Is that what you're going to be doing when you wash your hands?
That's it. You know, look. Was there any question? Was there any question at all?
Yeah, you know what? I'm learning. No, there's not. As LeBron James sits,
there's no limit.
I can tell LeBron
doesn't look like LeBron James.
Oh yes, he does. Yes, he
does. Speaking of Jackie's favorite player, we're gonna talk about her other boy, Kyle Kuzma, because famous, prestige scientist, Carlonius Kuzma, dropped a little bit of knowledge for us on his IG yesterday because apparently in his mind, hand sanitizer does not work because obviously if it worked, coronavirus wouldn't be happening right now. Reading into what he said, but this is what his little IG said. Now y'all finally finding out companies been taking money from us for years. This ish don't work. And it's a picture of hand sanitizer that is pretty much full. Now, I'm going to let you take that one, Jackie. Try to defend your boy. You too, Debbie. You can chime in.
I'm definitely going to defend him on this one because here's the thing. He is not wrong. So when I saw this on his Instagram, I went to the CDC website. And the CDC website says hand sanitizer can help kill microbes, but it isn't effective on all germs and will do nothing for other substances that may be on your hands. The Centers for Disease Control recommends cleansing your hands with soap and water whenever possible and always visibly soil your hands with suds. So, Kyle Kuzma is right.
Soap and water is definitely effective. We get that. Like that's not
So
what
he's
this
not
is.
wrong.
He's saying the answer. Go ahead, Britt. No, go ahead, Britt.
I've been saying this. Why at the grocery store, any store you go to currently, there's thousands of bottles of soap and 0 bottles of sanitizer. Like, you guys, wash your hands. The sanitizer does not work as well as actually washing your hands. So why are there millions of bottles of soap and no hand sanitizer?
Can we sanitizer?
Sanitizer.
That's what we're calling it.
Word now. Okay.
There it is. Trademark sanitizer. That's what it is. No hand sanitizer. Sanitizer. There it is. Trademark.
No.
Well, go ahead.
I feel you too. So.
I just think it's funny the way Kuzma posts this as like it seems very conspiracy theory. Like, now they've been taking money from us. Yes, hand sanitizer is not a substitute for hand soap and hand washing or washing your hands. But when you're in a pinch, like for example, if you're at Disneyland and you just went on a ride and you want to spray your hands off real quick, I'd rather have nothing. I'd rather have hand sanitizer than nothing. So I just think his post is kind of funny. It's like one of those
and also before a week ago, hand sanitizer was $1. So they haven't been taking that much money from us.
I know, man. Cool. Go ahead, man. Keep up the scientific work, and we'll check up on your updates. So appreciate you, Kyle Kuzma. And not least, this one happened over the weekend. I'm glad it made it on because Dirk Nowitzki, amidst all this coronavirus stuff, my man was out there. I don't know what he was doing, off-roading with this van. I don't know what he was doing, but he managed to get himself stuck in the mud. And of all of his teammates that he's had in his time in Dallas, he called up the one name that we have not heard from this player in a long time. Darren Williams, the one-time greatest point guard in our league. Darren Williams went out to tow out his truck. Here's the video.
When we're supposed to be on quarantine, but you got to bail dirty out of the mud.
Sorry, real quick, I want to shout out Malachi. He said, "Stop buying toilet paper." He thought that was the opportunity to send out that PSA to everybody. But yeah, man, Dirk, what were you doing with the van? Now that's why I want to know. What were you out there in the dirt doing with that van? Dirk in the dirt with the van? I don't know, but shout out to Darren Williams.
I want to know why he has this minivan. This is such a soccer mom minivan. Why are you driving this?
Philip Rivers of him. Philip Rivers has that big dad van too, but Philip Rivers also has 27 children. So
that's why, man. I saw the memes, and this is not part of my post up. But what are they doing? What's the quarantine situation look like in the Philip Rivers household? Like, what's going on in there?
You guys got to be on opposite sides of the house. They can't even they can't not be in one household together because the rule is 10 people now. So
where's the nanny?
Oh, nanny cannot be in the home right now. She goes on vacation.
And she can't come. Anyways,
that is called a gathering now, a social gathering, and they cannot have that.
That is hilarious. That's so true.
That's why Philip Rivers actually bought that other house. Half of the family has to stay at the new house.
Oh, I am not mad.
Yes. All yours, Jackie.
All right, so some WTF moments, you guys. We kind of touched on it earlier, but your boy Joakim, I always say his name wrong. Joakim Noah. He just, he's been. Yeah, but he hasn't got to play yet. Thanks to the virus. But I tell you what, his neighbors are glad that he's in LA because his neighbors in New York. Now he hasn't played since March of 2019, but he's been trying to stay in game shape in the community gym. And he made it a full-on training facility. He brought his own trainer in there. The trainer was blowing whistles in between workouts. They complained to the manager. They didn't just complain, though. They wanted him banned forever from the gym. How do you get banned from a community gym? That is so extra.
That dude is crazy, man.
He is, but I need to know, is he living in an apartment/condo community here in LA? Is he doing the same thing in that gym? Would you be mad if he was in your building?
He's been banned from a country. This man has gotten banned from just about everywhere now. That is so sad.
What is wrong with him?
That is so sad. If you really think about it, he's been banned from a country.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do we need to do an intervention? Does he need therapy? What do we do here?
He's gonna, like I said, fit it perfectly in Venice Beach, man. He's good. He'll be all right.
Oh my God. Okay, so my other WTF moment, we talked about this earlier too. I am not a Tom Brady fan, as you guys know, and I will have to admit that his post this morning, it was, first of all, it was the butt crack of dawn, 5:45 a.m. He posts, he goes to Twitter and he says, thanks Pats Nation, and then long convoluted letter that says, I wanted to say thank you to all of the incredible fans and Patriot supporters. MA has been my home for 20 years. It has truly been the happiest 2 decades I could have envisioned in my life. He went on to say, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I will always love you and what you shared, a lifetime of fun memories. I hate this. Just say, yo, it's been real. Mamba out. You know what I mean? Like, come on, this is stupid.
I don't think that he could have just parted ways with the Patriots after this long with just a quick, simple message. I think
you know how he could have done it? You know how he could have done it is if he would have told us where the hell he's going. But he's not. Yeah. He's dragging this out. He knows. He does, and he loves the whole, because he's been doing this to how long? How long have we been talking about, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? If he goes, where's he going to go? And instead, he knows exactly today where he's going to go. Yeah. He's like, nope. Let me just send
when he posts, what was it, Super Bowl weekend, when he posts that picture of him, you couldn't tell if he was walking in or walking out of the arena. Yeah. And then, since that, he loves this. He's just teasing us. It's so rude.
It's incredibly rude. It's incredibly rude.
You're so rude, Tom Brady. We're already going through enough right now, okay?
Exactly.
I know.
Robert Kraft did another tweet. Well, he didn't do a tweet. He did a statement on the Patriots website, and he basically saying that you can't compare, Tom Brady to anyone. And he ended it, and he was like, and I love him very much. And I felt like his was more sincere. His was more like, well, this sucks. Versus Tom Brady's was more, oh, all eyes on me. That man is just too much for me. That is my WTF moment.
I don't disagree that Tom Brady wanted to have the attention. He wanted it to be the talk of the town. I agree with you guys on that. But I also am with you on that. I wish that he told us where he was going, because now that that mystery is all heightened. Everybody wants to know. He's got everybody on the edge of their seats. If you all care about Tom Brady, that is. But yeah, I think that the long message was necessary.
I think it should have been a video.
Exactly. And if you're a fan,
video would have been better.
Care where he goes. There's nobody in this league right now that doesn't care where Tom Brady goes, because in some way, shape, or form, it impacts you. Where he goes.
That's what everybody else is going to do.
Exactly. So it's a douche move. I'm sorry.
They're Tom Brady of him, so,
Right.
On brand.
Mm-hmm. But that's it for me. Now it's time for Brit's Takes.
Brit's Takes.
All right. So my takes today are actually just going to be a rundown of some of the best trades we've seen so far, and I'm going to give them a grade. We'll go through one at a time, and then you guys can say what you think of my grade and maybe decide your own. Cool?
Okay.
And okay, we're talking NFL. So First, obviously, I have to talk about the biggest blockbuster trade that we've had this offseason so far, which is the Texans trade. It's so hard for me to actually spit this out of my mouth because it's so ludicrous, but the Texans traded wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins and a 2021 fourth-round pick to the Cardinals in exchange for David Johnson, the running back, and a 2020 second-round pick, and then a 2021 fourth-round pick. Now, as far as this trade goes, it is great for the Cardinals because Kyler Murray is literally jumping up and down, screaming now because he has one of the best receivers to now throw to. So I don't understand why they even did this, but it's great for the Cardinals in this situation. For the Texans, I got to give the Texans a D. I mean, and when I was in college, D equals degree. That means you still graduate. So I think they'll still make it through the season. I still think, Kenny Stills, I think, is a great receiver too.
Amen.
And he was a little hurt this year. So I think Watson still has a few people that he can throw to. I still think they'll be okay. But, as far as this trade is concerned, that was, such a bad move. But they're still going to be decent in the AFC South. I still think they'll be okay. They get a D, and then obviously I'm giving the Cardinals an A on this one. What do you guys think?
I think Cardinals definitely get an A. I think a D is warranted. the other way. I would have given them an F, but you're right. They probably would still pass. So
Right.
D is probably good. Can we do D minus? Is that a thing? Is that possible?
Yeah, D-minus
Yeah,
stuff.
D minus.
That's a 60%, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one. I'm gonna give them probably like a D plus because I mean they got a running back out of it because they've been having problems with the running back situation over in Houston.
And Carlos Hyde has been decent, but he's not healthy all the time. So yes, I agree with you there.
But it's still not enough because at the same time, in that same breath, David Johnson hasn't been quite the same. You know, he's not the old David Johnson that we all know. So I'm still gonna give him a D plus. But yeah, obviously, I mean. Cardinals, they already got Kenyon Drake, who when they made that trade over there, he was playing really well with Kyler Murray, and now he got not just one receiver, because don't forget, man, freaking old man, Super Bowl one time, making it to the Super Bowl, played every single game of his career. Like they still got a great receiver in oh my God, why is his name
Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is the bomb. So like now just think of the Cardinals team now.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that's an A plus, man. Yeah. So I'm with you on that one.
No, Larry Fitz is one of the guys that I'm like, I mean, maybe he's the one guy that's never going to retire because he's still like consistently pretty healthy. He still produces on the field every single year. He literally is like, his body's like a robot. Like he just keeps going and going and going. And at a position where you're having to run still, you know, it's not like a quarterback. Yes, quarterbacks or kickers can play a long time, but like a guy that's still having to compete and go up against these new young guys that are running like 4.25s and stuff like that, like hands down, he's the GOAT, one of the GOATs.
100%.
We have Damian Jaggers in here who says F plus. So if you guys want to know
that's a D minus, isn't it? Isn't an F plus a D minus? Ain't the same thing?
Worse.
It's like 1 point difference. Yeah.
All right. So for my next trade update, the Vikings trade. They traded Stephon Diggs for a 2020 7th round pick to the Bills in exchange for the Bills had to give up a first round and 5th and 6th round picks for the 2020 and then a 2021 4th round pick. This is a huge loss for the Vikings. However, because of the fact that Stephon Diggs was noticeably unhappy this last year with the team, I think it was only right. You can't have that bad energy in the locker room. He clearly did not like playing. He was always talking about why is no one passing him the ball or whatever the case, or he's not getting any, ball time or whatever. Right. So with that said, I think it's good for the Vikings to get that out of their locker room because he almost was getting to a point where he was being a little bit of a diva on the field. But he's still productive when he does get the ball. So I was kind of confused why they weren't even giving him those opportunities because he still did well when he had chances to do that. So as far as the Bills are concerned, they gave up a lot. Like a lot.
Yep.
So in this case, I think we have to see, pending on what the Vikings do with the trades that they got and then how Stephon Diggs does with the Bills. Right now, I actually would give both of them a B on this because I don't think either one of them won or lost technically just yet. I think we just have to see how it plays out this season.
I think I'm going to give
a lot of.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I'm seeing a lot of people also say B, but also that they gave too much. That seems to be a common sentiment that's happening in the chat here. And they did give up a lot. Okay, Chris.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Vikings because of what you said. They got rid of somebody that was potentially going to turn into a headache because Stephon Diggs you were seeing it on the sidelines, and that's the first sign that you don't want when we're seeing it from our couches.
Of Antonio Brown.
Exactly. So to get rid of that as well as bringing in all these assets to not only, I wouldn't say replace them, like find some other weapons that they can get on offense, but to do so much more with, because these are good picks because, I get it, the Bills had a better season last year, so, they're lower in the draft, but still first round, fourth round, fifth round, those are good
3
picks.
of those this season alone on top of the picks that they already had. So
because of that, I'm going to give the Vikings a B plus, and then and the Bills are still getting a weapon in Stephon Diggs, but I'll give them a B minus.
Yeah, I would do A minus for the Vikings and B for the Oh God, I'm having a brain fart. But you know what I mean.
Bills.
For the Bills.
Yeah.
But and the reason for that is because they got so much, and like you guys just said, like just having somebody in there that I just don't know if he would play well. I mean, unfortunately, we've all been watching football long enough to see it's more so on the offensive line side, but we've seen how awry things can go when you have someone or people on your team who don't want to be there, and it can just be a toxin that spreads throughout your team. So to get all of that and to get rid of him, I think, especially since they got rid of him and knowing he didn't want to be there, maybe karma will come back on their side a little bit. So I'm just going to give them an A- on that one.
And then it's good too because a lot of it, like 3 of those picks are for this season, so they can capitalize on them right away. It's not like, I gave them like a 2022 pick and like all of them but one were for this season, so they can utilize those right now. So I think it's great for the Vikings, especially if they're trying to build a new young team. So my final trade I want to talk about is the Jags trading cornerback AJ Boye to the Broncos in exchange for just a 2024 round pick. I was so surprised he went for so low. Just 2 years ago when AJ Boye and Jalen Ramsey were both on the Jags, I said that was the best tandem of corners in the league at the time. Jalen left. AJ was still doing his thing. He wasn't as effective, but he kind of almost seamlessly went into that number 1 spot as a corner. So for him to get traded for a 4th round pick was kind of crazy. But Jags needed cap space. That's the only reason why they did this trade. And then, like I said earlier, with tons of great corners in this year's draft, it's perfect because they can replace AJ with a new young guy and literally for pennies on the dollar. For the price. So for the Jags, because they needed to open up, they were really tight on their cap space and they had no money to move around. So I think that was the best bet that they could do, and trading a corner, considering there's a lot of corners in this draft, I think was a good option for them. And I spoke with AJ, actually. He's happy about the trade. He's excited to go to the Broncos. So as far as the player is concerned, he's good to go there, and he was excited about heading out of Jacksonville. And the Broncos have a bigger fan base. You know, they have a lot more fans. They get more televised games than the Jags. So this is an opportunity for him to even state his case, because he just signed his new deal, I believe, a year ago, and it was like a 3-year deal. So he's still going to be trying out for other stuff. He's still a young guy, still has some years on him and stuff. So I think this was a good fit for both. I am going to give the Broncos a B, and then I think I'll give both of them a B. I think it works out for both, depending on what the Jags are able to get during this draft. If they don't, they just, in the last 2 years, traded away 2 of the best corners in the league, so that would suck for them if they don't end up capitalizing on it in this draft. But if they do happen to do well in the draft this year, I think it's a B for both teams.
He's going to love it in Denver. Let me just say, being from the Mile High City and the way the fans out there embrace anybody who plays for the Denver Broncos, he is going to absolutely love it until it gets super cold. And then, then once he hits that whole, 7 to 8 months of winter, he might be like,
this trade.
Right.
Ain't in Florida anymore.
But as far as the way they're going to embrace him and he's going to feel welcome, he is definitely going to love that. He might stay in the house a lot, but he's going to definitely feel welcome for sure. So I think it's good for him, for sure.
Chris,
so
I saw you making... Oh, sorry, Jackie. Okay, so B on both sides. Chris, I saw that you were making some faces when Britt was giving her grades. What do you think about this?
No, it's nothing against you. I think the B's from both Jackie and Britt.
You got something to say?
No.
I'm
just trying to start drama.
I hear you. But
very Tom Brady of you, Devin.
I want to do the same thing, but it's just I just feel like they could have. Even if it was to drop down and get a fit, I feel like they could have got multiple picks if they were going to shoot that low. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my only beef with just a 4th round.
The Broncos?
The Jags.
Or the Jags. Just having to get 1 4th round pick. Yeah. That's where I would see that too.
That's my one beef with them. So I want to give them. But you're right though, because there's so many tangibles. The flexibility now with finances.
Space, yeah.
But still,
all right.
I agree with you there. I would say that the Jags definitely got the short end of the stick on that, for sure, just because they only traded one 2020 fourth-round pick for A.J. Boye.
Give them C+, give the Broncos a solid B. There it is.
All
That's
right.
what I'll do.
All right, you guys. Well, that wraps up this live segment for today. If you want more information about all of Britt's grades and the news, that video is coming out later today.
Yes.
We're going to be back, live streaming. I was about to say broadcasting, live streaming from our homes tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Wear green. Subscribe to the Fumble. Tap the bell. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.